Hello, folks. We're here to learn about BDAM, or what is officially called BD's Assembler Manager, and what we on Paradiso call the BDAM. BD made a mod for us called BD's Assembler Manager, and it is there to make managing your assemblers and getting your quotas of items that you want easier. It's a better way to manage your assemblers. It gives you a whole bunch of other options in terms of how do you get more items in and out of your assembler. You can set up helpers. There's all kinds of cool features. There's a lot of people in our community who wanted to know how to make it work for them. And so here we are. We're going to do a quick tutorial. I'm going to cover a few basics like how to set up the BDAM on your hotbar, how to set up a quota, what adjusting that quota does, and how to set up helpers, which is probably the most useful thing about BDAM. On top of it, making all the things for you all the time. That's another really useful thing. What you see in front of you here, we've got an assembler, we've got 2 cargo containers, and a control seat. You don't need 2 cargo containers, you just need cargo. You need an assembler, obviously. You need a control seat, and that reactor over there, that warfare reactor, you can ignore. It is not needed for this other than the fact that you need a grid with power on it. All the regular things you would need for an assembler. This world is in survival mode, but it was made using creative. Again, it'll work in creative or in survival. All of those things still apply. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to set up BDAM on your hotbar. So,
Energy low.
My energy is low, and so I'm going to jump into a seat. To get that assembler on your hotbar, you're going to grab the assembler. I've labeled this one BDAM assembler. Grab it down to your toolbar, and we're going to go Open Assembler Menu. We're going to close that, and then we're going to press the button. We have the BDAM assembler menu. This is large grid 5526, my favorite large grid. And what I'm going to do is set up a new quota. All I need to do is hit the add button, look through the list of all of the components in the world. This will be regular vanilla components. This will be modded components. This will be everything in the world that you can have made in an assembler. I'm going to go find steel plate because that's what I hate running out of the most. And I need to remember in what order the alphabet works. There it is. Steel plate. Add. Now, how many do I want? I'm going to set this to 100. And I'm going to click this until I have 100 items. I can make this go faster by holding Control and increasing by 10. I can also hold Shift and it'll increase by 100. Or I can hold Control Shift and then increase by 1,000. Either way, you can increase it by an amount that you so choose. I'm going to pick 100 because it's easy. That's how you set a quota. If I turn auto on and I close this, and then I go to the production menu, there it is. The assembler is pulling in iron, it's queuing up the items, and making the plates. And there they are. That's how easy it is to set a quota. Now, I'm going to pop back into that menu, and you can see here this number is updating automatically. I'm going to turn auto off, and then once the assembler runs out of things in its queue, it'll stop making items. So now that the assembler has made 100 plates, I'm going to set up a grind to quantity. So let's say the build to quantity is going to be 50. We're going to bring this down to 50. We need 50 plates. And I want the grind to quantity to be 70. So I've got 100 plates in inventory, I've got 50 plates to build to, and I've got 70 plates to grind it down to. I'm going to kick auto back on. I'm going to pop out of here. I'm going to press the K menu. We're going to go look at our inventory, and then we'll go to production. And this will automatically flip to disassembling and making and bringing down those plates here very shortly. Yeah. So now that BDAM's caught up and looks at it and goes, oh, I need to grind these down, it'll start grinding down these plates to make iron. You can see here in the inventory, it's brought it down to 70. It's got the iron back. We're good to go. So we got 70 plates. Awesome. I have set a quota to build to a certain amount, to grind down to a certain amount. I can even set a priority level. So if I want steel plates all the time, I can push this up to priority 1 and it'll make this before anything else in the queue. I can put this down to priority 3 and it'll do it last compared to everything else. If everything's priority 3, it'll just work through the list in whichever way it wants to. If it's got a higher priority anything, it'll do the higher priority stuff first. You can do an inventory report and you can say, how many things do I have in my inventory? And it'll tell you exactly. But it'll only do it for the grid that the assembler is on. Just know that for future reference. So we've got a build quantity set. We've got a grind to quantity set. What else can we do? Well, we can set up helpers. So let's turn off the auto system for now. Let's kick this up to some ridiculous number. Let's go with 50,000 plates. Okay. If I turn this on right now, it's going to queue up 500 plates at a time because that's what this queue is. I can even set this to go up to 1,000 plates at a time. It'll queue up 1,000 plates in one go in that assembler and it'll just keep on running. We can do that. That will take a long time. There's an easier way to do it. I'm going to kick on creative mode. There we go. And I'm going to go over here and let's add a whole bunch of assemblers. Look at that. Much assembly. Now that I've got a bunch of assemblers, I can go select my BDAM assembler, turn on BDAM master mode. What that'll do is it'll make this assembler that has my quotas in it the master BDAM machine on this grid. All of the helper assemblers will take orders from this master assembler. By the way, also from this K menu, you can also tell it to combine stacks and other cargo containers in the grid. You can also export the BDAM quota information to a text file. It'll go text file, basically the custom data. Or you can import it from the custom data. So for instance, if you have a save where you have all this stuff set up and you want to keep that set up, export it to the custom data, copy it, put it in a text doc, open up another save, paste it into the custom data, import it into BDAM, good to go. Another cool feature. Let's select all these other assemblers. Let's turn on BDAM helper mode. Let's go over here and let's turn on queue control. So that's the auto queue. That's the same as hitting the button in this menu right here to hit auto on. Works the same way. By the way, this is saying auto is on, by the way, not to turn auto on. So I've got this ridiculous queue. I've got all these assemblers. What's happening now? Production. You could hear all of the assemblers working. This assembler's got a bunch of steel plate queued up in it. Well, so does this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. All of these assemblers now have steel plates queued up in them because the BDAM assembler is doling out jobs to all of the assemblers on helper mode. You can see here, we're starting now to just print steel plates. And that's how you use BDAM. There's a bunch of other features you can use too, like using an LCD to show the current status of BDAM. There's that inventory stacking thing I showed you. There's a whole other set of importing and exporting, like I was saying. You name it, there's a bunch of other things here that are specifically built to handle assemblers and make them easier to use for everybody that needs them. And the bonus is it's more performant than running an inventory script. So, with that being said, hope you had a great time, and we'll see all of you next time.